Hey, what's going on? JJJUICEBOX here. Going to do a little Forge rundown on scripting, basic scripting. I found some stuff online. Some stuff was kind of helpful. Some stuff was just kind of running through real quick. And if you don't understand what scripting is, what it does, how it works, some of that can just kind of be blind to you. So let's just go right into it. I'm just going to start a map on Alpine, just basic, and go through some different scenarios of scripting and kind of explain it in a little more detail what each thing does and how it reacts. It can be, as you get a little deeper into scripts and you got 6, 7, 8 scripts on one item, with several different actions, it can be overwhelming. And taking your time, getting on the forums. Forge Hub is great. Hell, you can even reach out to me on Xbox or even right here. And if you see something, a better way of doing something than the way I'm doing it, and you know better than I do, hey, jump in there, leave a comment, and let me know what I'm doing wrong, if anything. Love the feedback. So I'm just going to delete everything real quick and just start fresh with a new piece. Let's see, structures, floors. Of course, we'll just throw out a big old floor, and we'll work off of this. So first things first, the basics, switches, right? Everybody, it's real basic. It's real easy. It's you send a message and something happens. So let's throw out a script. We'll go in scripting, and then just to make it a little bit easier, we'll throw in a terminal. Throw the terminal down right here. And what do we want it to do? When we hit the switch, maybe we want something to blow up. Maybe we want something to appear, something to disappear, something to move. Whenever you're doing your scripting objects to move, rotate, whatever, or any kind of offset, I always test it with a switch first, and then I'll go in and maybe have it activated by a different source. But testing it with a switch is a lot easier than restarting and seeing what you're doing wrong. Switches are these things here work amazing. So let's just let's do this. So here's what I want to happen. We'll just use a simple wall. Just to have something here. Okay, so here's a wall. Just turn it so we can see it. And so down here, I'm going to go add script. So obviously when the map spawns, right now, it'll spawn in. So I'm going to add a script, and the condition is going to be when it gets a message. So we're going to do this by messenger. So when the message is received, we'll have it despawn. We'll have it, let's see, that's on alpha. Okay, so when message received, it'll despawn. Done with that. Now we got to go to our switch terminal, add a script. In this script, when interacted, so when someone walks up and hits the button, and then do this action, message send on channel alpha. Activator, you can leave. You want to leave that at activator. We're activating something else. So, or it's going to activate an action. So message send on alpha. Right, done. So when I do this, it disappears, gone. So now say we want to make something move, same thing. Moving objects is really very simple once you do it a couple of times. So we're gonna throw one over here, and then let's just throw in another wall or something, or maybe I don't know. Okay, just to be a jackass, we'll put this in. So we want to make, let's not use that. That's awful big. We'll just use another wall. Okay, so what we want to happen, let's just say we want to pretend this is in a doorway or something, right? And we want to have it drop down to open up a to open up a doorway. So same thing, highlight it, object properties, go down to scripting, add script, when message received, and this is all based off of where it gets its message. In other videos I'll get into script brains and boundaries and stuff like that. So like when a player enters an area right in front of that wall or that door, the door will automatically open. And it can be team based, so if it'll only open for red team, it'll only open for blue team, yellow team, whatever. But right now we're just on basics with switches and message send and message receive. If there's something else you want to see or need, want to figure out how to do, let me know, and if I can do it or show you, I'll make a video and throw it out there, or like I said, get with me on Xbox. Okay, so channel Bravo, we don't want it on alpha because we have another one on alpha right now, and the action is going to be move offset, vertical, horizontal, forward. We obviously want to go vertical, we want it to go straight down. So, and I don't know what the full distance of this is. I'm going to say, I don't know, let's just go with 20. We'll go 20 and test it and see what happens. So what we'll do, we want it to go down, and then we want it to wait 3 seconds and come back up. So we need to add a few more actions. So right now, the first thing it's going to do when it gets a message on Bravo is the move offset. It's going to go vertically, negative, down 20. So now we're going to add another action. This action, now we want it to wait. Let's make it wait 2 seconds. What did I say, 3? We'll make it 2. Make it wait 2 seconds, add another action, and then this is nice. It's really easy. Reset. It's going to reset it to its original position. And we're going to bump this time up to 1 second. So the more distance you have in the less amount of time, the faster it'll move. The more amount of time, the slower it's going to move. So this is set to 1 second moving down, waiting 2 seconds, 1 second returning to its original position. So we can back out of here, deselect it, we'll select the switch, add script, when interacted, message send on Bravo. And now when we do this, wall moves down, it'll wait 2 seconds and come right back up. Moves down, waits, comes right back up. And you can do that with anything. You can do it with rotation, vertical, horizontal, you pitch, yaw, all that stuff. And it's really just about messing with it. And I would suggest if you want to learn how to script, this is the best way. Get in there and mess with them. Use a switch terminal for it. And if you ever lose anything, like this is gone now, this little wall, there's a cool little feature. Go to map options and then respawn all objects. Or, I'm sorry. I don't want to do that now because it'll bring back everything since I haven't saved the map. So I'm going to reset map state, and that'll bring back everything that was there originally, or clear all scripts. It does a number of features. I find it useful for that, especially when I'm working in a map with lots of scripts and lots of script brains and a lot of stuff. Sometimes immediately you have stuff that despawns at the beginning of the round of the match because you only want it to be shown or seen at a certain point in time. So it can. They're really, really useful. Let's leave Forge real quick. I'll show you what I'm talking about. And we'll get back into switches here again in just a second. There's several different ways and several different things that you can do with switches, and it can really make things easy and simple. It can also be somewhat of a pain in the ass because now the player has to do something. They have to do more while they're trying to fight or they're trying to make their way through a game. And that's where script brains really come in handy, and different activators, different, there's different ways to say, motion sensors, or whatnot. Could be anything from, when a destructible gets destroyed, that could activate or trigger something. When a player enters a certain boundary, that'll activate or trigger something. Or when a player enters a boundary, it'll change their player traits. And you may have a boundary where in a certain area shields don't regenerate, or shields regenerate quicker. So it's, a safe zone or something like that. So it really, there's so much that you can do. It's really insane how much you can actually get done. So this here, let's just see, where the hell am I? Okay. So this is a trivia game that we made, and basically what it is one person in each little area, and the host is up here, and he'll ask a question. They each have a barrel, A, B, C, and D, that they can shoot at. And if they get it wrong, he hits a button. Boom. When he hits a button, see how that went down? That's going to go down. And so the person in there has 4 chances to get it to get through. You get 4 wrong, you're dead. Every time he hits that button, their shields go down 25%. And at the same time, a bunch of alarms go off and lights flash, and only in that player's cell. And then the host will reset. He'll reset everything, and the barrels. If the barrels are gone, so there's a missing barrel. There's a missing barrel. Let's get rid of one more. Right there's a missing barrel. So we've got a couple barrels missing. Red guy. Let's just say he just got it wrong again. He's about to die. Now when the host resets, those barrels. Did I reset? They must not be on this. They must not be on the script, right? Now I feel like an idiot. But anyway, you see, and I'll go in here and show you what I'm talking about. With, let me see here. Map options. So this is what the player sees when he's in here. He'll hear an alarm and some flashing lights go off. And that only lasts for a few seconds, and then his shields go down. So there's tons of different things that you can do with scripting. So, I mean, if you're new to Forge, or you've been around Forge for a long time and never messed with scripts, I encourage you, man. You can make a lot more interactive games and maps and new game types. There's new game types coming out all the time. We just did one at a tag team game, and it seems to, so far everybody in the company likes it. It works out good. So, there's tons and tons of shit you can do. But let's go back into it, and I'm going to smoke a cigarette. Not that you really care. It's not like you can smell it. I drink, I smoke, I cuss. Who gives a shit, right? It's all having fun. So as we're loading here, what else can we do with these switches here? I mean, you pretty much get the concept, the basics of it. If you want to, okay, so you want something to disappear at the beginning of the match, and then you want it to appear when somebody comes into a boundary. Let's do that. We'll do that real quick. Somebody hits a switch or goes into a boundary again. I should have done this and saved it, but whoops. Okay, so structures, floors, 256. Okay, come on down, baby. Come on down to daddy. Okay, so let's do this. Let's go. So I've got 3 cargo containers. Now I want them all to do the same thing. So here's what I'm going to do. First thing I'm going to do is highlight them all, and I am going to create a welded group. Now they will all react, and if anybody doesn't know, when you're using magnets and stuff, the parent object is where your magnets are going to flow to. That's what's going to magnetize. That's the one highlighted here in blue. The other 2 are in purple. You can change that just by going in right here in object properties and changing that. And you'll see that blue line. Now it's in the center. Now it's back on the left. So you can choose that. So if you're trying to line something up with your magnets and you're going, what the hell, this damn thing, this is retarded, I'm getting frustrated. This is probably what your issue is when you're dealing with welded items, or welded objects, groups, whatever you want to call them. So, okay, so this is going to be a little more detailed. What I'm going to do is, first, I'm going to have those. And then I want to have this room right here. I'm just going to make a small room. And this is just so that I know where the boundary is. Oops. Let me turn this back on. I had my rotation turned off here. Okay. So let's see, where do I want it? Okay. We'll throw this guy here and him here. Put another one there. Just throw him there for shits and giggles. Okay, so now I know where my boundary is going to be. And you don't have to do this. I'm just doing this to make it easier on me. Okay, so let's highlight this group, and we're going to script it what we want it to do at round start. And this, again, this could be anything. This could be any object, any item. It could be a light, an invisible light. It could be anything. I want it to, when the match starts, despawn. That's it. And you want to keep that on objects, okay? Or keep objects on this, I'm sorry. So match start, despawn. Now, if you have a game, if you're going to use this in a game where there's multiple rounds, you'll want to add another script and do that one for the same, but you want it to be, oops. Maybe they changed it. Oh, there we go. That's right. The new update today. The new update. I remember reading about this. So yeah. So round event would be start and then despawn. So now to get it to spawn in, we'll add another script. So we have our 2 despawn scripts in. So beginning of the match, it's going to despawn. Beginning of every additional round, it'll despawn. And then so what we're going to do here is we'll do it basic on message received, and we'll leave it on alpha. On message received spawn. Now, if there's things in the way, like, if it's blocked by a player, it won't spawn unless you do this, force on. I always force it on. If you're in the way and it kills you, well, tough shit. You shouldn't have been in the way. Granted, you probably didn't know, but, tough shit anyway. So, message received on alpha, it's going to spawn, force on, in case there's somebody in the way. Now, we're going to set up a script brain. And, excuse me. Script brains can be, they're colorable, which is what is used for like King of the Hill. And then, you can set them for your teams too. So scripting, we're going to go a team script brain, and I'm going to set object properties to neutral. Boundary, I don't want a cylinder, I want a box. So width, just get it up here real quick. Length, and you won't be able to see it really until you give it a height adjustment. Once you give it a height like this, now you can see it. See it coming down there? So what I'm going to do, and then I like, you know, I always do this. I like to back away, and that way I can get him all lined up nice and pretty and center. Set the line, and I'm just going to make it the width of this little area I have here. So I'll, you know, I bump him into the wall a little bit and get it good in the center. That way, you know, it goes into the wall, and you're guaranteed coverage on both sides. Okay, so there we go there. Come over here and check out the width. Bump him over, okay. And the bottom, I want to make sure that goes all the way down to the floor to make sure we don't miss the Spartan when he walks in. So we'll move bottom down to the floor. Now we need to set this to do what we want it to do. So we're going to go into add script, and this is always going to run. You always, at least for this purpose, I want it to always run. So condition, and we're going to do, actually if we go back, boundary check. So we're going to check when a player enters. You can do exit, enter exit, either or continuous. So we want it when a player enters, and then right here you have filter player or objects all. We want that on players. You don't have to worry about repeat. If it's at 0, it constantly checks. If you set this, it's only going to check, you know, every 720 seconds or every 10 seconds or wherever you set it to. So add action. What we want it to do is simply send a message on alpha, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to send a message on alpha. Now remember, when we send a message on alpha, those containers are set to receive a message on alpha. So when they receive, then they will spawn in. I do need to set a spawn point real quick. Initial, again, neutral. Oops. Okay, so let me just save the map real quick. We'll just call it something. There we go. Look at this. I don't know if I can pronounce that. Saving done. Leaf Forge. Okay, so let's go back in. Oops, damn it, I do that all the time. Wrong map. Sorry. Complain in the comments below. Tell me what a dick and dumbass douchebag I am. It's okay, I hear it from the wife and kids all day. There's nothing you can say that's going to hurt my feelings. Or at least I don't think. Now watch, I just opened a can of worms. Yeah, I know. Oops. My files. That's it right there. So what we do, we have the container set to despawn upon match and round start. We have the script brain, which is going to send a message alpha when a player enters that area or that boundary that we created, and it's going to send a message on alpha. And in turn, the containers, which are set to receive a message on alpha, and their action is to do to spawn and force on, or I'm sorry, force spawn. So no matter who or what's in the way, they're going to spawn anyway. And we went over switches, basic movement, basic actions with switches. Let me know what you want to know, and if I can do it, I'll help you. If you think I'm just an idiot, well, fuck, tell me, who cares? It just encourages me to drink another beer. So, nothing, right? So, we go in here, holy shit, look, there they are. So that's just a real basic script, using the script brain. Again, get in, mess around. If you ever want to have direct questions and I'm on, shoot me a message. Just jump in a party. We'll get in a lobby and get into a map, and I'll be glad to try to help you out. I'm not the best by far, but I do know a little bit. Enough to get me by. People like the maps I make. They like the games I make. So, yeah, if you need help, let me know. If not, like, subscribe. And if you're looking for a Spartan company, head over to Waypoint and check out Drunken Halo Podcast. I'm a member. Great company. A lot of good guys in there, mostly adults. A lot of drinking, a lot of company game nights. It's really fun. So check it out.